Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Pauper, and at the request of Patreon subscriber Samael, I'm playing their mono blue self-assembler Tron list. Tron is, of course, a multi-format staple. It's a modern deck that's been just near the top of the format since Modern's inception. Every time Tron is standard legal, it's worth pursuing. Prophetic Prism is banned in Pauper because of Tron, but we're still out here doing it, and the key is trying to figure out what to do with all this mana. A little while back on the channel, I played a mono white build of Tron, and I'm excited to play mono blue now because I was impressed by Self-Assembler. 5 mana 4/4. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an assembly worker creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand. This is itself an assembly worker, and it can just chain them off. This is like a mini Squadron Hawk, mini in terms of search and macro in terms of size and impact on the battlefield. Condescend is one of the most powerful cards that can be played in a deck like this. The modern builds of Blue-Tron, which are pretty rare, but they are out there, still play this card. Counter target spell, unless its controller pays X, and Scry 2. Just card selection on a counterspell on curve is insane, and in the mid-game when you have Tron, it's just a hard counter. Repeal is kind of like more Condescends. You send their creature back, you draw a card. It's just a lot of the same thing. Keep the board clear, keep the cards flowing. And we've got a bunch of big O's. Marauding Brindfang, 6/7 Ward 3. Mirashell Crab, 5/7 Ward 3. Channels to counter a spell or ability. Sword Coast Serpent. Adventure Mode, bounce a creature. Creature Mode, can't be blocked as long as you've cast a non-creature spell this turn. We got a bunch of those. Brainstorm, Expedition Map, Dire Mimic. Dire Mimic's a cool card I want to talk about too. I've never seen this card in my life, but here's 2 copies of it in this deck. It's a 2-mana rock, which I mentioned Prophetic Prism is banned in this format because of Tron. That's a 2-mana rock as well. This one, tap, add mana of any color. This has flash as well. And for 3, it can become a 5/5 shapeshifter until end of turn. This hides out, fixes your mana, and eventually, you're going to have 3 mana pretty easily, and then you just get in there with your 5/5. It's not unreasonable to just have 5 mana either. If you're against an aggro deck, flash this in, it becomes a 5/5, and you just eat somebody with your dresser here. This is a cool card, and it makes sense in exactly this deck. And then we got Brainstorm, Impulse, and Lorien Revealed as card advantage card selection. Lorien Revealed fixes your blue. Tron decks do sometimes have trouble getting their colors, but the cyclers from Lord of the Rings really changed that, and Lorien Revealed is the best of them. Every card in this deck makes sense to me. The plan is clear. Stay alive until the big O's come down. Let's try it. This is Samael's Assembler Tron.
Come meet me at MagicCon Chicago. In addition to my official creator booth with Raymond Yu on Friday morning, I'll have a second meet and greet opportunity Saturday morning at the 3-for-1 trading booth from 10 to 11 a.m., right before the Legacy for Original Art tournament starts. Big thanks to 3-for-1 for continuing to provide opportunities like this. Do some shopping at their booth in Chicago, or check out shop.3for1trading.com.
I'm on the play in round 1. I've got a Candy Trail that can scry. I've got Condescend for the curve out. I'm going to keep this. Hers is mine, Candy Trail. 2 copies of Impulse. Do I want 2 copies of Impulse? I think I want 1. I'm going to bottom one of them, top the other. I noticed Magic Online is a little bit draggy right now, and it just came back from downtime. I hope this doesn't manifest itself in any painful ways. But I like the Impulse here because if they cast a spell, I can Condescend it. If they don't cast a spell, I can Impulse, and that just covers my mana, moves me forward either way. Is Cycle Troll of Khazad-dûm? Exhume, huh? I have thoughts about that. I will be condescending towards this little play you tried to make. Boulder Branch Golem is a way later problem, and I'm actually worried about Repeal right now too. I'm going to bottom both of those. If their plan is to reanimate Troll of Khazad-dûm, that's not great for me. Oh, sick. That's really good against both spells and the card Exhume. I can channel the crab to just counter an Exhume. I wish I could channel the crab without countering the Exhume. I wish I could just discard it somehow and Exhume it. Though their creature's probably better than mine. I'm not going to fight over Scrapwork Mud. I'm going to use this opportunity to impulse. Ooh. They discarded and then immediately dredged a Stinkweed Imp. I know this is a deck. I've seen it on MTG Goldfish. I haven't played against it yet. I could gain 3 life and draw a card here, or I could impulse. I think impulse is better. Dire Mimic, Brainstorm, Expedition Map. It's either Brainstorm or Expedition Map for me. I think I want the map. Take the guaranteed path towards Tron. I'm going to play Haunted Fengraph and Expedition Map and just pass with my crabs up. There's an Acorn Harvest in their graveyard. This flashes back to make 2 squirrels. Branchwood Prowler doesn't do anything from the graveyard. Mutt, they milled another Mutt, and that does have Unearth. Satyr Wayfinder, I'm not going to fight over this. They milled over another Mutt and another Acorn Harvest, and they put a Forest in their hand. Flashback the Harvest. Is it time to start fighting over these? No, I think if I just cast a Mirror Shell Crab at some point in the near future, that's just as good. I'm actually going to draw with Candy Trail and Brainstorm. This is why. I found a power plant. Now I can guarantee Tron. If I had just guessed between the 2 things, that would not be as effective. And now I don't need this second Expedition Map. Like, I drew the power plant and I likely would have tutored for tower, but if I'm just like RNG 50-50 versus seeing as many cards as I can hit and guaranteeing that the map finds what I want, that's better for me. Okay, I am going to do nothing here. Unauthorized Exit is cool because it kills a token forever. But I have 5 mana worth of stuff I'm likely to want to do here if I have to counter a spell or ability. Dread Return. Okay. I can let this resolve or I can counter it. Yeah, I'm actually going to counter it because I might not be able to counter it on the flashback. And if they flash it back, now this Unauthorized Exit actually is the nuts. Yeah, I hope they do just sack 3 creatures and put that back into play. Nice. All right, Troll's back. And I'm going to tutor here for my Urza's Tower. Play a tower. Tower can play and crack Expedition Map by itself, which I think is pretty powerful. And then I have a bunch of mana left over to do crab stuff with. LMAO. Crab stuff. Do you like doing crab stuff? I do. This desert could control the token part of their deck. Or I could just get more mana with Tron. And tutoring desert seems so sick here. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm taking the desert. I see all those X1s. And I think I'm going to unauthorized exit in their upkeep. Exit this troll. And I surveil one. Boulder Branch Golem. I will keep that. Yes, please. Right on top. That's a huge heckin' monster. Gains a bunch of life when it comes into play. Starting to reach stability. They still have 6 cards in their hand. One of them's a troll. They're 1 mana away from just casting trolls. There's that 1 mana. And I am going to grab the troll. Grab the troll by the horns. And then Big Tron. Cast the regular version of this. I gain 6 life. Play the desert. And something resembling stability has been achieved here. I still have Fengraph that can get back a random card from my graveyard to my hand. Right now, random means Mirror Shell Crab. Okay, they're casting another troll. That's cool. Do I want to put crab in my hand? I think I do. Pick that up at random. Air quotes random. Condescend showed up right on time. Little late. 3, 4, 5. Send it on the Lorien revealed. Okay. I have bounce spells, lots of them. And I could cycle this Brine Fang for an island right now, which lets me actually cast my bounce spells. I don't know why I thought I had lots of them. I have 1. I have 1. Okay, attack with my Golem. It can't block the 6/5 anyway. Happy to get that trade. And I'm ready to desert the Scrapwork Mutt. I have to take a hit from Troll because if I bounce it, they just replay it. Next turn, I can condescend it. Satyr Wayfinder. That's not my fight. 4 cards hit the graveyard, including a Dread Return and another Troll. They can flashback Acorn Harvest. I take 8 here, and then in end of combat, I'm going to kill the X1. Boing. Get you out of here. Branchwood Prowler, mill 3. You can put a land into your hand. Yeah, I don't care about this. They ended up with a +1 counter, milled 3 cards, Lotless Giant. They can try to reanimate that. I'll condescend it. Okay, I'm going to unauthorize exit, the troll in the end step. Mine. Do I want to mine? It's more mana. Do I need more mana? Not really. Graveyard the mine. Ooh, I could send Lorien Revealed, but that puts me down to 1 blue, and I would like 2 on their turn. 6/5 creature, I'm at 12 life, you're at 8 life. They can play Troll of Khazad-dûm and Dread Return next turn, and there is a Lotless Giant in the graveyard. Just want to be careful about that. I think I'm just going to pass with as much interaction up as I can muster. Because here I can crab twice and still condescend for 4. They played a swamp. I have to keep in mind that Mirror Shell Crab is not a hard counter. If they were to just fire the Dread Return right now, targeting the Lotless Giant, I would have to condescend it for everything I got. Yep. Okay. So you have 7 mana. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. I got to condescend this for 8. This is what I was saying in the deck tech. This is just a hard counter in the mid and late game when you have Tron and they don't. Another crab and self-assembler. I'm going to bottom crab, top assembler. Is there another one from hand? Oh no, am I dead? Do you have 12? It's 1 mana short of doing what I wanted. Dang. All right, well, good show, old chum. Was there a way I could have massaged that? Like if I condescend for 2, then they pay 2, then I crab twice. I might be outthinking myself there, but they certainly did the thing. Relic of Progenitus comes in. I like Exclude. I don't like Wretched Griff. I like that for flying decks like Fairies. Out Cold is for aggro decks. I want Exclude and Relic in. The bounce spells are all good. The gain life is good. Candy Trail was part of that plan, but I think I can live without it. And I'm going to shave 2 impulses. I'm cutting like basically all of my, or maybe Dire Mimic is worse here, and keeping the impulses in is better. Because I still want to be able to select, because they are a deck that pressures in a really powerful way. Dire Mimic, I don't think a 5/5 sometimes is what this matchup is about. Okay, turn 1 Relic. This is not Tron, but I am going to keep. This turn 1 Relic seems great. And I am going to drop the Relic out here just to play around Duress. Haunted Mire, Expedition Map, the nuts. We've got it all, kids. And now if they have a Disenchant, they actually have to decide which thing they're more worried about. If they do have a Disenchant, we're in some trouble, because I need Tron to cast this 6/5 and move the game forward. Okay, they thought for a while, then just passed the turn. I like that. I am just going to map for the power plant. I know I don't have any blue mana, but I'm hoping I don't need it this game. Or it will show up when I do need it. Because I could just play this big dummy and start bashing, and their deck doesn't really work with Relic in play. Scrapwork Mutt. There is no spot to snipe a Ancient Grudge. Alright, well, there's no spot there to snipe a Stinkweed Imp in the rules. Like, discard and draw is all part of the resolution. They're going to flashback Grudge. I'm going to draw a card. So they did get through this. Not unscathed, but like they are down a card there. Okay, how do I want to do this now? I think I want to search for an island and then play the big golem. Okay, let's hope I bought enough time that my big golem can win. It was just shy of winning last game when they were firing on all cylinders. Now it's turn 3 and they haven't done anything yet. But we have seen Cycle Troll, Reanimate Troll is a line their deck has. But I've got the bounce spell in my hand. Satyr Wayfinder. Found a forest, dumped 2 trolls and a Dread Return. And they do have the Exhume. All good. Another power plant. Okay. I'm going to attack. And now I have the choice to brainstorm and try to spike something to do. Or I could just use this Serpent this turn. Yeah, I think I'm just going to build out Tron for now. Or, I mean, I can wait and see if they do something first main worth mirror shelling. All right, capsizing wave, bounce the troll. They just went for combat. I'll just get rid of this thing. I take 2 here. Exhume's actually a really interesting game piece here because I have all these channel effects. If they find a window like this, obviously it's great, but it's also likely that we'll find spots where my creature is just better than theirs. Scrapwork Mutt. It's got an Ancient Tomb. Or not Ancient Tomb, Ancient Grudge. The card that's a Pauper card. Yeah, I mean, killing my 6/5 for 1 mana is pretty good. But now Exhume's bad. Dread returning a troll. Okay. And cycling another troll. This deck is super cool. No wonder it has all the meta share that it does. Okay, definitely got a brainstorm here and need some action. Self-assembler counts as action. Put back power plant and mine. And then I'm going to assemble multiple selves here. That's a good way to shuffle your brainstorm. My selves are so assembled. And I'll drop out the Urza's Mine here. And I have the Fengraph and plenty of mana to pick up and play Golem all in 1 turn if I need a surprise 6 life. Oh no, another Ancient Grudge. They play so many of those. Okay. Oh, my 2 for 1 was answered by their 2 for 1. But I'm going to get another 2 for 1 here. I guess mine's actually a 4 for 1. All things considered at the end of the line. Okay, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 mana here. That's enough to do a lot of stuff. I'm going to use 1 Tron's worth of mana to Boulder Branch Golem. I would like that life back. And then I'm going to assemble my final self and play Haunted Fengraph, which can cast Impulse and hopefully find another blue source to unlock the rest of my hand. Still can't block this troll, but cracking back is pretty powerful here. Stinkweed Imp has Fake Death Touch. Whenever it deals combat damage to a creature, destroy that. Which is a triggered ability for Mirror Shell Crab, unlike Death Touch. If they tap low, I actually might get good exchanges here. A 5/7, yikes. Opponent's in Big O mode as well. Let's see who can out Big O the other. Crab, Sword Coast Serpent, that's good. I'm going to take that because the bounce is useful, and I really hope I draw a blue source right now. Blue source, repeal. Repealing a generous end is certainly a vibe. That costs 6. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Repeal the Ent. And I hit the blue source. We're going to beat the Stinkweed Imp. Good news, everybody. I could also just trade with it and counter the Ent on the way back down, but I can bounce this Ent over and over again. I'm trying to tempo them out here. And then Crab, target this. And I have exactly enough left to play my final self-assembler. Turns out fake Death Touch versus real Death Touch actually mattered a lot here. That usually doesn't matter much. I'm out of assemblers, but I do have double blue to play this big whale next turn. Serpent Dragon, excuse me. Thought you were a whale. They just milled over 2 Lotleth Giants. That could be dangerous. Well, we know their hand is Stinkweed Imp and Big Tree, and then 1 mystery card. Big Tree's back. Let's see if this troll even attacks. Yeah, didn't think so. We got him on the run. Okay, troll is a 6/5, which is smaller than 5/7 on the stats that matter. Do I try to push, like tempo them out this turn, or do I try to go full lethal next turn? Now there's 2 different creatures in my graveyard, so Haunted Fengraph is random. I think I want to start with that and know what information I'm working with this turn. Oh, there are self-assemblers there too. There are actually 4, and I still spiked the one I actually wanted. That's lucky. Okay, I'm going to bounce the Generous Ent. I know this is making a lot of food, but food costs mana, which they may or may not have when they need it. They actually have to block the Golem here and trade off because I have lethal otherwise. Okay. They could play Stinkweed Imp and eat 2 foods, but that's not a good long-term plan. I'm at 23. It's going to be hard to Lotleth Giant me from that. They do have Scrapwork Mutts in the graveyard and 1 red mana to unearth one of them with, which can discard Stinkweed Imp and dig. There's currently 8 creatures in the graveyard. If they can combo kill me from here, I'll be impressed. They picked up a Forest, milled over a Prowler, another Mutt, and an Exhume. Yeah, it looks like they're just dropping chumps into play. to try to survive another turn. If they play Stinkweed Imp, they can block, eat a food, and be at 1. There's that. Urza's Tower, not super helpful. If I send it, they get a trade with Stinkweed Imp. I'm going to send it. I'm just going to keep the pressure up from here. Eat the food, go to 1. Lose your board. I still have 2 4/4s. Can't counter the trigger this time. And I could play this Sword Coast Serpent. A card that I've definitely cast before in my life. Question mark. They have 12 creatures in the graveyard, and there is a Stinkweed Imp there. They cycle Generous Ent. They might be able to do it from 23 here with a good run. They cycled the Ent for Forest. They milled. They hit Dread Return. 13 creatures. They can escape or unearth one of the Mutts, discard the Imp, dredge it again. Still, even if all 5 are creatures, that's still only 18. That's not enough. They would have to giant me twice this turn. Here comes the Mutt. And the Mutt leaving the graveyard takes a creature out. 16 creatures in the graveyard. There is an Ancient Grudge there. I could kill one of my assemblers. They're still not stable, though. There is only 1 Dread Return. There is an Acorn Harvest, but they can't flash it back without eating the food first, which will tax their mana. Basically, at this point, we're just trying to figure out how they could combo kill me. And also confirm they're playing 4 copies of Ancient Grudge. That card's very good, and very good against me. Okay, they sack the food, which must mean they're intending to do the Acorn thing. There's only 1 Harvest and 1 Dread Return. In this chump blocks, the 2 squirrels plus Ancient Grudge do give them another turn. Unless I draw a non-creature spell to make this thing unblockable. And if one of their unknown cards in hand is Satyr Wayfinder, that still only gets maximum 21 creatures in the graveyard, and I'm at 23. Ancient Grudge killing off my assembler now. That's fine. We knew that was happening. They're doing it now before I can untap and counter it, which is the correct time to do it. The Mutt exiles in the end step, and we are getting a turn. All right, let's draw just like Expedition Map and make my creature unblockable. Called it out by name. Who do you think you're playing against here? Gotcha. Okay. And they scoop to the unblockable. Nice. Alrighty. I have all of the graveyard hate that I play in my deck. Candy Trail gaining 3 life is not nothing. It sees almost as many cards as Impulse. I'm just deciding if Impulse is better than Candy Trail, or I could cut a Brine Fang. This card is a huge punish on Exhume, though. Like, this is a really sneaky way to get something in my graveyard and beat an Exhume. I don't like all the Ancient Grudges in their deck, but boarding out my Boulder Branch Golem, they actually would have killed me if I didn't gain 12 life that game. That's not an option. I could shave a Loring Reveal to get a Candy Trail back in. That's the last card I'm really looking at as potentially reasonable to play in a smaller number. I also spent basically that whole game wishing I had another blue source. I'm going to trust in the Candy Trail and just go slightly lighter on Island Cyclers. I did board out 3 blue sources this game, so if I lose because I'm color screwed, that's why. I have Natural Tron in this hand. I'm going to keep it. Like, obviously I need something to do with all this Tron, but this is a good start. Brine Fang, okay. Tower, go. Don't Exhume this turn. You can Exhume next turn. Oh no, the troll is here. Oh, they got a tap land, though. Please play that tap land. Oh no! Oh, Mire Triton. Cool, we got away with it. Okay, we didn't get Exhumed. They milled over a Lotleth Giant and a Haunted Mire. Okay, I'm going to play the Mine, and now I kind of hope they do cast Exhume. There's the Bog. Attack for 2. This is a Death Touch creature against all my big O's. Real Death Touch, not the shitty kind. I'm going to Island Cycle this. It's just not going to do anything else for a while, and I'm likely to tap out in the future. I'm going to hold up my Exclude mana rather than make Tron here. Tron doesn't do anything. I have no spells to cast. So hope they cast a creature. What I don't want to happen here is hard cast Dread Return. Come on, Satyr Wayfinder. Play around the Condescend. Wayfinder, Wayfinder. Oh no! Well, that hurts. I take 1, and it's huge. Bounce spell? Okay, I found a bounce spell. We're not dead. Capsizing wave. I'm just going to bounce this giant right now before it can do anything stupid. Mire Triton's attacking. Kind of hope their hand is just like 4 Ancient Grudges right now. Just some sideboard card that currently doesn't matter. Stinkweed Imp. Okay. I don't think I would have been excited to exclude that anyway. Condescend. Hello. All right, I'm going to just Tron up here and pass the turn. This doesn't have flash, does it? That would be too easy. Nope. Okay. I'm going to pass, leaving up my counters. And then next turn, I could start casting either the Dragon Whale or Lauren Revealed and still leave up counters. I'm at 13, so like I can't just wait forever. They are bashing me for 3. And they are smartly just passing. This costs 7 total. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I could Condescend for 2 or still exclude. That's pretty good. Big Whale. Dragon. Serpent. Whatever you are. You're in play now. And I have the Impulse that can make it unblockable on my turn for a good hit. Both their creatures are Death Touch, so they could just keep swinging. Yeah. They're like, yeah, I'm not going to block this anyway. In. Stinkweed Imp. I will exclude this. Might be dangerous, but I don't want them to have 3 cards in play. Desert beats the Mire Triton. That's cool. Okay. Now I don't need to make this unblockable. I can just smush. What happens if I Lorien Revealed? I get 3 cards in my hand is what happens. I'm going to cast Lorien Revealed. There's the Golem. That gains a bunch of life starting next turn. I could jam it now, but I don't want to tap out seeing the Dread return and knowing they have a giant in hand with me at such low life. Urza's Tower. And I'm not going to block, so I'm just going to attack. Those are the 2 things decks do. And I think I'm going to discard this Power Plant to hand size. I already have a creature in my graveyard if they try to exhume me. Okay, they dredged, hit a second Dread return, and a second Stinkweed Imp. They can attack me to 4 here. Gonna need these Boulder Branch life points. Stinkweed Imp. Wow, I have 4 minutes on my clock? When did this happen? I can crab this. Yeah, I think crabbing this is fine. I'm going to need this Condescend. I actually just lost if they have Scrap Work Mutt in their hand right now. Maybe I wasn't supposed to tap out there. Okay, got away with it. Okay. Attack with my big idiot. Gotta get this game won. And 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boulder Branch Golem, who I fully expect to get Ancient Grudged immediately. Desert. And pass. Desert can kill Mire Triton. Ancient Grudge, no surprise there. Not going to try to counter it. That's not what my game's about. They milled over 2 Acorn Harvests. That's tough. But that is a lot of life points to spend on a spell that's going to get countered. Okay, they attack me to 7. End of combat, kill the Triton, which significantly changes the race. And I have 2 Condescends here. Exhume. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can make them pay 3 and then counter it again. This is like the trick that I didn't do last time. But they're not dead either. Okay. To Condescend for 3, which they can pay for, which might be a mistake. But I'm going to spend next turn, and I still get to scry even if the spell isn't countered. Okay, I'm going to put another Condescend on top, and then I'm going to Condescend for 1 here. This plays around a double spell, or at least they have to read that it's a double spell. Power Plant on the bottom, Condescend on top. And what I want to do here is Lorien Revealed and Impulse into a Relic of Progenitus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Send this in. Found the Relic, easy game. Relic, lost Relic. I'm just attacking it now. I don't even care. And passing with multiple counterspells and an unblockable lethal threat for next turn. Comfortable 7 life. And they scooped it. I'm concerned about my clock. Like I mentioned, MTGO felt a little laggy to me. Did I spend that much time tanking, or was it lagging? I might reset before the next round, but we got to win. Let's go. That was a really good match.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 2, and I'm going to keep my hand that has natural Tron plus additional land tutors. This hand has a ton of mana, but like basically nothing else. Gonna need some action. Hopefully Lorien Reveal can help with that. This is going to be one of those games where I use my expedition map to get a basic island, and my opponent says, oh no. Ponder off of a snow island. Power plant and pass. I could tutor for island here, or I could tutor for desert. I could also just flash in Mimic and see what happens. Moon Circuit Hacker, cool. Alright. I think I want to tutor for desert then, if that's what they're doing. Does that even make sense? I might have blown it on this, because I'm about to play Self-Assembler. I'm just going to get an island. I probably should have just flashed an Dire Mimic there. Hers is mine. Self-Assembler. And now I drew an island, making that tutor feel extra bad. And I'm just going to play the Mimic when they can't counter it. Okay, here we are. I've got a 4/4 on board. Usually a good start. Augur of Bolas. They're going to look at the bottom 3 cards of their deck. Oh, they did find a Brainstorm. Lucky. Card advantage. I've rarely seen card advantage off of an Augur of Bolas. Oh, wow. Urza's Tower. I was going to double assemble here anyway, but now I can double assemble with mana still up. Now that doesn't even make sense. Assemble. This is why I'm okay keeping hands that are all mana without anything to do, because when you find something to do, it's pretty messed up. 4/4 getting in. And I just have a lethal attack next turn. Even if they brainstorm into Scred, they can take out like one of these 4 threats I have in play. If they have 2 Screds here, they can draw a card. There's one. And they didn't attack. If they attacked, I would have read Lightning Bolt from that. Ooh, this Condescend's going to be gnarly. This costs 3 to activate, basically giving it away. 5/5. I'm just going to bring the Ruckus here. The more time I give them, the more time they have to figure this out. Wow, just taking all of it. What a boss. And they're representing Counterspell, but I can counter their Counterspell. Yep, Condescend that. Another 4/4 in play at 3 life. Don't need a map. I'll take an Impulse. That's just more looks at more cards. And I'm not going to search because I'm out of Assemblers and I just scried to the top. Okay, they got 5 mana now. Tolarian Terror, that is bigger than my things. But I have more things still. I'm going to start with Impulse and see where that goes. I'd love to find a Counterspell here. Mirror Shell Crab will do the trick. 1, 2, 3, activate the Mimic. And I can counter a Scred, and I have a lethal attack here. If they just had a Spell Stutter to chump, I will counter that. Cool. Just get Tron and dump 20 power into play. Easy plan. A Wretched Griff is good against their flyers. Relic controls the Tolarian Terrors. I could see Exclude being reasonable. I could see Hydroblast being reasonable. I could also just fight over or go bigger than Tolarian Terrors and not worry about attacking the graveyard. That frees up 2 slots here. I think Marauding Brine Fang is the worst of my big dummies. Condescend's great. Unauthorized Exit, I'm not high on. A lot of their creatures have ETB abilities, and they're not very good on their own. Like Tolarian Terror is the only card I'd actually want to bounce in their deck. And 5/7's bigger than that thing. 6/5 trades with that thing. 6/6 is bigger than that thing. I like Repeal for being actual card advantage compared to the Surveil on Unauthorized Exit. And even though it was solid there, I think I'm going to shave a Mimic. Doing it like this. A no free Tron this time, but I do have interaction and a map. I'll keep. And I'm ready to self-assemble when I get set up here. Fairy Seer, okay. They have an aggressive ninja start off of a Multa 6. Top bottom to their Scries. Expedition map might just get Desert here to stabilize, and we could figure out Tron later. Here's the attack. Do you have the ninja? No, okay, just damage. I'll take it. And I think I'm going to play Island here and just pass. I have 2 options for bounce spells. Cycling Lorien Revealed, okay. Volatile Fjord. And they didn't ninja me last turn. They would have had to draw it right now. And I think I'm going to tutor the desert. Maybe I'm crazy, but this seems like exactly the matchup this is for. And they're not exactly blazing out on me. Looks like I have some time to do stuff. Cycling Ash Barrens, whatever. Yeah, they have 5 mana for a Tolarian Terror here, which means I don't have to hold up a counter spell. And next turn I can poke with Desert and still counter it. Yeah, they're just not even attacking. Sick. Drew an island. Would I rather have 2 blue in play? I think so. We're on that slow Tron, playing the mono blue half the deck. It's going upstairs with lightning bolts now. Just trying to find a way to deal damage. And just passing. Cool. Do I want to repeal this fairy? I think I'm going to try it. Just see if I can get a redraw here. Candy Trail, okay. I'm going to play the Trail, and I'm ready to counter a Spell Stutter Sprite. It didn't have one. Brainstorm, Exclude. I want both of these cards. Oh, I can Brainstorm into Exclude. No, because this isn't going into my hand. All right, I'm going to top the Exclude and the Brainstorm above it. And bouncing that fairy gives them a Scry 2 in a spot where they're clearly not really doing anything. But it also found me some action. We know I like action. And I'm not going to cast the Impulse because I already know there's a card that I want on top of my deck. I'm going to Brainstorm now, and I can exclude a Spell Stutter Sprite. Okay, put back an Assembler and a big Golem. Play the Mine that I just drew, and just pass. And I'm going to cycle Lorien Revealed for a shuffle here. So, or no, I have big Golem on top. Is that something I want? I don't think so. Impulse clears them as well. Maybe I don't do that. I could just Impulse my way through this, or I could just cycle Lorien. I'm going to cycle Lorien. I'm trying to hit land drops here. Another tower, not what I wanted. Not yet. Someday it'll be good. Opponents over there missing land drops. They are filling up their hand. They're just firing bolts at me. Yeah, they're trying to get the Tolarian Terrors online. End step, Impulse. Looking for that power plant. I'm going to exclude the Spell Stutter Sprite all day, every day. It's actually a really good spot for them to pick a fight if they have a counter spell. All right, yeah, maybe I was supposed to Mirror Shell Crab that. But instead I'll just untap and jam some unbeatable card. Oh wait, I have this capsizing wave thing. I can still have everything. I'm going to bounce the 1-drop that sucks instead of the 2-drop with a powerful ability. Okay, I get to Impulse here. Candy Trail, Condescend. I want Condescend. And another Mine. They remain unscathed for now. I'm going to play Self-Assembler and get this train rolling. This is an opportunity to drop a big crab, but the crab is also my interaction I have right now. Just gives me multiple options. Tolarian Terrors are pretty cheap at this point. Yep, Scred's fine. Already replaced itself. 2 for 1. Ponder, you got it. It did not shuffle. Cycling a Lorien Revealed. Okay. That shuffles away the other Ponder cards, so they wanted 1, but not any more than that. I'm not going to poke the Spell Starter with Desert. Okay, it didn't even attack. That makes life easy. But it was my intention to leave up the Mirror Shell Crab. Candy Trail's in. Where's my power plant? Not forthcoming is the answer. Boulder Branch Golem does not have reach, despite being in the color pie where that might be a reasonable thing. Yeah, I'll put Brainstorm on top and just play Urza's Tower and pass. Yeah, I'm just going to pass. I have so much interaction in my hand. I'm hitting land drops they're not. I am interested in them making a mistake. Okay. It would cost 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I have to crab. I could tap them out and just play something bigger. I'm just going to let this one resolve. I could try to fight over the next one. I could have channeled 2 crabs, I guess. But crab is bigger than this thing in play. Okay, end of turn. Bust my Candy Trail. And I'm going to Brainstorm now, see if I could get a fight in their end step. Expedition Map's a good one. Put back Island and Tower. Expedition Map. Play it with Urza's Mine. I will tap out of the desert to use this, get the power plant, and immediately unlock thousands of mana. Self-Assembler, Annul. I'm going to Mirror Shell Crab this, so they can't counter it back. And I can Condescend for 1 here and still play another Assembler. The scry's not super useful because I'm about to search my deck, but I am going to resolve 2 4/4s on the board. Bottom, because it doesn't matter. Assemble myself. Now I can double block Tolarian Terror. They've got 1 card left in their hand. My life total's high. I'm not even going to block if they attack. Because then I get blown out by Scred. Just not interested in doing that when I'm so far ahead. Okay, here we are. They don't have a Scred, or they would have made an attack there. They might have a Counterspell. Self-Assembler on the stack. Nothing left to assemble. Play Island and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whale Snake. And I'm just going to pass from here. Fairy Seer, you got it. Bottomed. 1 card left in hand. Desert's back online. Tutoring for that desert was sick. Maybe I would have had Tron earlier, but I am not unhappy with that situation. I'm going to attack with the Whale Snake. If they want to double block and lose their terror, I'm fine with that. That unlocks all my 4/4s. And then I'm going to add another creature that's bigger than your creatures. Mirror Shell Crab. If this resolves, I'm playing the other one. Yeah, okay. This is more important than Counterspells now, just having the biggest idiot. And they packed it to my giant Dumbos. Yeah, it was just a better control deck than them. That worked out extremely well. On to the next round.
If you're looking to run a CEDH or 1v1 tournament, Eminence Gaming has your back with Command Tower. With Command Tower's intuitive tournament manager dashboard, you can handle decklist submission and player management with just a few clicks. Players just need to scan the event's QR code for access to the full tournament bracket, including seamless pairings and real-time standing updates. Take the guesswork out of tournament organizing. Try Command Tower for your next event.
Once again, in round 3, on the play with Natural Tron, I'm going to keep. My opponent's username is Boombust, which luckily is not a legal card in this format because I'm playing a land-based strategy. They mulled a 5, okay. Tower, Candy Trail. Expedition Map, Island. I'm actually going to bottom both of these. I don't need lands right now. I need something to do with my giant mana. And I'm likely to play Island next turn instead of running for Tron, just to hold up the Condescend. I mean, that is kind of an incentive not to do that, but I think holding up my interaction is a good idea here. They're on a mull to 5, and I have Tron all set up. I think the only way I lose this is if I just throw it somehow. Get a Candy Trail, draw my card, found an Impulse, another Power Plant, and now I can spend mana even if they don't cast spells. Impulsing. Not going to fight over an end-step Brainstorm. You got it. Mental Note, mill 2 cards. They dumped a Lorien Revealed and a Thought Scour, which were cards that they put back on purpose. I hope they slam a Terror here. Delver of Secrets. That's not my fight. I can repeal that. They could counterspell this. I'm still going to repeal it. This is just too good not to. And it's just gone. Picked up another Condescend. Urza's Mine. Tron set up. Found a Lorien Revealed for another blue source. I'll probably start casting spells next turn. Mental Note, milled a Delver and a Cryptic Serpent. Thought Scour, milled a bunch more stuff. Okay, I mean, if they just spam out Tolarian Terrors this turn, that is a strategy. There's one. I'm going to make them pay 4 for this. Even if they fight here and this taps them out and I get to put a big creature into play, yeah, that's fine. Knew that was a possibility. But it taps them out of the counterspell. Island Cycle here. Then I just put Boulder Branch Golem into play. Or Self-Assembler, is that better? 7, 8, 9, 10. I can put 2 4/4s into play. I think I'd rather have the 6/5. This also leaves up a bigger Condescend. 29 life, biggest creature in play. More cards, more mana. Delver didn't flip, never does. Another Delver. Not even scared of the first one. End step, Impulse. Another Golem. That's sick. Right in my hand. Rest of the bottom in any order. And I'm going to send it with the Golem. If they want to trade, we can trade. I got more where that came from. They did not want to trade. That's fun for me. Another one. And holding up one of 2 counterspells. I can't do both of them. Not effectively anyway. I could Condescend for 0, just to scry 2. Then also Crab. Not a good strategy though. And they're dead to my Golems. Okay, mono blue. Much more than blue-black or blue-red. I definitely want the Relic of Progenitus here. I want the excludes here. I guess blue-black has Garmeg Angler, and you want that. Blue-red's the one where you could probably get away without relics, but mono blue and blue-black, I'm interested. Dire Mimic is a pretty easy cut for me. Marauding, Brine Fang, pretty easy cut for me. I probably have to go kind of deep here, bringing in 6 cards, including a big creature, so I don't need to be so worried about my creature count. Unauthorized Exit seems great. Repeal's good against the Delver part of the deck, but it's really bad against Tolarian Terror. I have to pay 8 mana just to have to get through a ward trigger, so it costs 10 to bounce one of those. Repeal is kind of tough. Maybe I'll shave on those. I have to watch out for Murmuring Mystic. That's a card that could stabilize, and then I basically need a Sword Coast Serpent to win. I don't have a lot of trample in the deck, and by a lot, I mean any. Yeah, I think I'm going to shave the Repeals out and a Candy Trail. Okay, this makes enough sense to me that I'm going to move forward with it. Okay, 2 mana in this hand. There's a Brainstorm, though. I'm going to keep. This might be a situation where they like spell stutter sprite my Brainstorm and then I never play the game, or I might just draw an island and we're cooking. I think the hand is fine enough to keep. I'm on the draw. I hit my first 2 land drops and cast a cantrip. Candy Trail. All right, that was an insane draw. Great way to spend mana here. Ooh, Steel Sabotage. Opponent said no with their pointy weird little finger. And there's Dire Mimic. And a cycle for the land. Play the land. Dire Mimic is another mana source. Even if I miss on lands. I'm going to brainstorm now while they're brainstorming. At least play around Counterspell. If they dispel me, it's whatever. Okay, these 7 drops are a problem for later. And I'm just going to enjoy this handful of lands. Suddenly unlocked. I don't have a shuffle, though. What would be great is if they get too clever and Thought Scour me. They Thought Scoured themselves. Fine. There was a deep analysis there. Hard to argue with that. Delver of Secrets. And pass. Okay. I'm not hitting Tron for at least 2 turns anyway, so I'm going to put the Desert in. And at least mess with non-flip Delvers. This is random. They don't know their top card. It was deep analysis, though. Okay. Delver's flipped. Desert, not the hitter I wanted. Delver's getting in. Deep analysis. Yep, that resolves. End step, I'm going to drop my Mimic. I'd be surprised if they fight over this, but it's a great position where I don't even really care if they do. And I can add mana of any color with the Mimic, which means I could prototype this Golem as a 3/3 if that becomes necessary. I'm just going to hope it doesn't. They've got a lot of mana. It's a problem when the mono blue tempo deck has more mana than your deck built to have zillions of mana. I'm going to try to pick a fight on their turn. I would like to condescend something. I think I should end step that, actually. I messed that up. Now they just replay the Delver and nothing really happened. Yeah, that was loose. Okay. Draw for turn. Impulse. Yeah, I think I just main phase this Impulse, see what happens. I would like to hit a land drop. This is a huge sign of weakness, though, if they read this and send a counterspell at it. Yep. Okay. You did it. And Brainstorm means that the Delver's going to flip. Maybe I'm supposed to condescend that Brainstorm. But that taps me out of Desert anyway. This one's falling behind. Okay, they Thought Scoured away their cards, so this is just a random Delver flip now. And they still hit, revealing a null. Oh, this is going to be a tough one to win. Deep Analysis flashback. They are at 14. If I just start firing up my Mimic and blasting for 5, I'm winning the race. That's really interesting. Okay, come on, Tron land. Exclude. All right, Dire Mimic, wake up, do your thing. If they bounce this, I'll probably just concede, but this is a plan if they have nothing. If their hand is just counterspells, I'm actually winning here. Something's happening. Steel Sabotage. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm not going to concede. But I want to. If they add a creature to the board, I will concede. If they drop just like a bunch of Tolarian Terrors this turn, we'll go to the next game. It's turn 6. I'm trying to have like 14 mana around here, not 4. Cycle DeLorean after brainstorming. Played the island. They're holding a null, which hits like most cards that I play. Brainstorm. The coast is clear. Any serpents or terrors they find can hit the board right now. There's a terror. How many you got? Dump them all out. Show me. Tron land? Nope. Okay. I'm good here. I could tread water and lose over the next few turns, but I'd rather just play the game out. Save it for game 3. Okay. Do I want repeals back? Because the Delver was pretty effective. They do have me in quite a squeeze where the terrors are really good against repeal and Delver's really bad against repeal. I think if they have a bunch of Steel Sabotages in their deck, this Dire Mimic is risky. Candy Trail versus repeal. I'd rather have Candy Trail. Maybe I wouldn't, though. Maybe I'm lying. Okay. I'm going to do it like this. Just moving cards around. Okay, gonna mulligan this one. If I knew they were going to have Tournament Delver Secrets, I might consider this, but that one's not even a Tron land. This hand does not have access to blue or any real path to Tron. I'm going to 5. Okay, keep. I'm going to bottom Self-Assembler and I think Mirror Shell Crab. And then just going to play this Relic of Progenitus and hope that it keeps me alive for a very long time because I don't have another plan. Just need some blue mana, then we're doing stuff. Delver, of course. Blue land. Well, Natty Tron. Hard to complain about that, but it is not what I need right now. Delver flipped, revealing a null. Brainstorm. Would be sick if they just pass without a land drop here. Delver's attacking. And they don't have a land drop. They're not necessarily Brainstorm locked because they could cycle Lorien Revealed or drop their like a self-mill spell in the upkeep to clear their cards. Yep, like that one. But that doesn't... It unlocks the Brainstorm. It doesn't guarantee a land drop, though. Land drop achieved, though. At some point, I'm going to have to bust this Relic just to draw a card and try to do something. I hope that that's not soon, though. God, they play so many Delvers. Might have to try to rip here. Okay, yeah, they're currently tapped out. I'm going to pop Relic and draw a card and hope to draw some gigantic hitter. Okay, Cycle Lorien Revealed. Come on, gigantic hitter. Impulse, right now. Sword Coast Serpent is kind of a hitter. It's not the one I wanted. It doesn't get annulled. Brainstorm might be better. I'm going to take the Serpent, though. That also takes pressure off. Okay, we are unlocked, but now we just need something to do, and under pressure from 2 Delvers. We don't have a lot of time to figure it out. Delver didn't flip. A rare moment of reprieve. I'm at 10 life. Mirror Shell Crab. Ugh. Unfortunately, I know they can counter that, and also I can't even cast it. End step Brainstorm, which means Delver is going to flip. Oh, okay. They're cycling Lorien Revealed. That was just an honest, I want different cards Brainstorm. I can bounce now while they're tapped out, or I could try to exclude something bigger. I think I gotta bounce the flip Delver right now while they're tapped out. Just take this pressure off however I can. Okay, cool. We could have taken 12 over the last 2 turns, but instead we're going to take 5. Still don't exactly have a plan out of this with that annul just sitting in their hand. Oh, a 3rd Delver. Great. Great, great, great. That's the part of your deck I can't beat. Okay. I'm dead. GG. Yeah, they got under me with the Delver side. And I even mulliganed that 7, saying if I knew they were going to have Delver, I would keep this, because it had the double repeal to just shred through the deck and keep the pressure off. But this half of the deck versus the triple Delver draw is not what we needed. On to the next round. The NYSE Open is a prestigious, long-running vintage tournament based out of New York City. It's returning again this summer, June 22nd, 2024 in Plainview, New York. This 15 proxy event has a $500 entry. That's a lot of money, but what are we playing for? First place gets a Black Lotus. 2nd through 8th place get Time Twister, Time Walk, and all 5 Moxen. At 115 players, a playset of Bazaar Baghdad is added to the prize pool. At 135, 4 Mishra's Workshops. At 155, 4 foil Gaia's Cradle. This prize pool is better than Eternal Weekend. If you think it's worth playing for, sign up for the event on melee.gg or use the link in the video description, and I will definitely see you there. On the draw for round 4 with 2/3 of Tron, I'm going to keep this. I have a Lorien Revealed and a bunch of Condescends to stay alive and keep the cards flowing. What I don't want to see is a Monastery Swiftspear. Okay, Quarian Ranger, that might be bad too, but at least I'm not just dead. Ooh, okay. Drew an island naturally. That means I don't even need to go too crazy with Lorien Revealed. I'll probably just cycle it this turn anyway to have my land drop set up for a while. Oh, your walls. Okay. This deck is rough. Okay, cycling Lorien Revealed. If I don't find Tron, it's actually going to be really hard to condescend anything out of this deck. They have so much mana. But if I can catch them early, that is where I want to be. And I have Impulse if the condescend misses, and I can still condescend just to scry. It's always available. Secret mode of that card. One time in real life, I saw somebody condescend for 0 just because they wanted to scry. Oh, sick. Well, we found a good hit. Just because they wanted to scry, and the opponent, like, not understanding what condescend for 0 means, was like, I'm not going to pay. It was really funny. Okay, Lorien Revealed, I don't need. I will take this Whale Snake. That was awesome. Yeah, now that they know that's in my range, that's not going to work again. They could have just picked up that land before they cast their spell, and that doesn't happen. Got him! Yeah, the turn played out literally the same as if they had bounced before casting their spell, except their Lead the Stampede got countered when it didn't have to. Now I can condescend for 2. A 3 mana. Are we going to see the bounced land before the spell? Yeah, we are. The machines are learning. Cast a 3-drop, though. I'm ready. Nice. Just condescend it for 2. Condescend is such a great name for a counterspell. It's like, oh, nice try. And yes, I will look at some cards. Double Expedition map. This is Tron. I'm set up now. Start dropping Haymakers. They're not going to play around the 3rd condescend. Nobody has 3 condescends. And just tutoring Tron on my turn doesn't make any sense. Passing the turn with 2 colorless mana open up. It doesn't matter. I will just hold up mana and have a bunch of stuff to do next turn. Another 3-drop. Let's go! Axebane Guardian. Condescend. Love seeing that card go into the graveyard. Okay, Self-Assembler I am interested in. I'm not interested in Tower. I'll keep the Assembler. I'll be able to start jamming those pretty soon. Untap their Sentinel. And are we attacking for 1? Nope, just chilling. Okay, my options here are use my islands to map, or use mine plus island to map. I end up in basically the same spot, awkwardly enough. I could also play island past the turn, hold up my bounce spell, and just do big stuff next turn. I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm just going to stay chilling on this expedition map. Make them think about the 4th condescend. Okay, they're rangering, but didn't untap anything just for mana. All right, Axebane Guardian. I can bounce that and then figure it out later. That card is crazy good, though. They're getting their beats through. With my 4 mana, I can bounce the Axebane Guardian and cast Impulse. I could Impulse and map, or I could bounce and map. I definitely want to map. Okay. I think I'm going to map plus Impulse, because I can bounce this thing on my turn. That's fine. What do I need? A power plant? Correct. And I'm going to Impulse. Brainstorm, another mine, Lorien Revealed. I'll take Lorien Revealed. That can reload me down the road. Multiple Loriens to reveal here. Assemble myself. Oh, did I have mana to bounce 7, 8, 9, 10? Yeah, I probably should have just cast the Serpent. Whoops. This is worse than the thing I could have done. Capsizing Wave, bounce Axebane Guardian. Sure glad I have a 4/4 in play instead of an unblockable 6/6. Whoops. Crashing Drawbridge. Okay, next turn, all their stuff has haste. They have 1, 2 mana available right now. Okay, so I gotta come up with a counterspell for Axebane Guardian. Impulse sees more cards than Lorien Revealed. But Lorien Revealed keeps them all. I'm gonna start with Lorien. Mirror Shell Crab, what's up? We're doing it. Power Plant and attack. Okay, they took the 4, and I can play Expedition Map here. I can't pop it. I guess I can, I just don't need to. Yeah, I'm just going to pass. I have enough to crab plus pop map on their turn. They're currently representing 4 mana. They would need 6 to get the Guardian through. Mirror Shell Crab, target that. They're not going to have 3 to pay for it. They've been playing this whole game on 2 lands. Beating the first 2 Lead the Stampedes is so nice because this deck is built on getting mana out of its creatures and does play a low land count and turns on all my soft permission if they don't get up and running. That's 2 Guardians in the graveyard. I might actually just lose if I ever leave the shields down, but hopefully we could keep the shields up with everything I got going on here. End step, I'm going to get a tower. I think just having more mana to dump out self-assemblers is enough of a plan right now, rather than trying to leave up enough blue to stay interacting. I am going to Lorien Revealed again. Another Condescend. I am deeply condescending. Attack for 4. They're continuing to just take it, and I can assemble and condescend for 4 or Mirror Shell Crab. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana, and the scariest cards in their deck cost 3. Assembler Trains rolling, pass the turn. They could be at 8 right now instead of 12 if I had played this Whale Snake on the turn I was supposed to. Just putting that into the public record. Nothing I can do about it now, but, you know, count your mana before you just cast spells. Lead the Stampede, and they have access to 1 mana right now. I'm going to crab this. Condescend is a hard counter for next turn, and Crab might fall off. They are close to having 6 mana, which is the magic number that's not an effective card anymore. Untap their creature, that's free to do. Do you have a follow-up spell? Doesn't look like it. Cool. All right. We're doing it, team. Now, they don't have to block this turn. They will have to start blocking next turn. And once they start blocking, their engine starts to collapse because all their creatures are part of it. They're giving up Jasper Sentinel, going to 8, Power Plant, 3, 4, 5, Assembler. Grab the last one, and I believe I have enough mana to win a fight. And I'm just going to shove lethal onto the board with this bounce spell plus counterspell. Axebane Guardian. Okay, I can let this resolve, and then when they tap their drawbridge, I can bounce it, and then they lose. Or no, they could untap drawbridge in response, and I might lose. All right, I'm not going to mess around with this. I'm just going to condescend it. Thought I was being clever for a second there, but I'm actually just being dumb. Okay, X is currently 3. That should do it. They have access to 1 mana here. Gonna bottom Dire Mimic and my other thing. Those don't matter. We did it. All we had to do was counter 7 spells. Out Cold is interesting. Tap 2 target creatures, put stun counters on them, investigate. In stunning some of the walls in their deck is actually pretty important. Their whole deck is creatures. I'm going to put excludes in. Hydroblast hits the Rubble Fort and the Invoker, which are their win conditions, but it doesn't do anything to stop them from setting up. Yeah, I'm not interested in Hydroblast. I like my Big O's, I like my Counterspells. I might be doing the usual reach for Brine Fang and Dire Mimic. Candy Trail. These just are the kind of cards that are cuttable. These are like the fringe, like, this is the grease, and these are the wheels. And, like, you need some grease to keep your wheels moving, but you can drive a squeaky car. You can't drive a car without wheels. So just attacking, or not attacking, but removing some of the grease and keeping all the wheels on makes sense to me. Going in. 2 lands, 2 bounce spells that have selection. I actually am going to keep this. This is like among the lowest range of hands I would keep, but I think specifically versus the deck that we're against, having both unauthorized exits is pretty dope. And Sword Coast Serpent. We just got out everything here to make sure we don't die real quick. Forest, Cerulean Caretaker. Found a Brainstorm. That's interesting. Like, I could just try to Brainstorm here. If I hit a land, I'm going. If I don't hit a land, I can cycle Lorien. I think I'd rather just cycle Lorien, though, because the unauthorized exits having card selection attached to them is so good. They have 2 mana here if they want to use it, and they just didn't even use it. Interesting. That's pretty honest. That makes me think their hand is full of 3-drops and that I should disrupt them proactively. I'm going to get this island, and I'm going to bounce this Caretaker right now. Mirror Shell Crab. I'm going to surveil that away. I need mana at this point. I suspect their turn will just be replaying Caretaker and passing. Unless they draw a land or a 1-drop here. Okay, they drew a land. That was their draw for turn. Have to be aware of 3-drops next turn. All the fireworks in their deck are 3-drops. I could just exit the Caretaker in my upkeep. Or I could brainstorm and try to do more. I'm going to exit the Caretaker now in my upkeep. Get the Surveil before my draw. Dump an Assembler. Just have to remember there's only 3 of those left. Oof. Okay, missing lands here sucks, but Repeal's really good. You just keep playing this game. But now they do have 3 mana for their 3-drops, but they won't have Cerulean Caretaker and play when it happens. Okay, Caretaker's back. Another Caretaker. And attacking for 1. All right. Okay, deck. How about that land? Give me that Mirror Shell Crab going into this turn. Tough. I could Dire Mimic, play Brainstorm. That at least adds a mana to the board, even if I miss on a land here. Oh, wait, shit. This is Sacrifice? I thought this just tapped. Oh, it's a treasure. I've been playing this card wrong the whole time. Good thing I haven't used it for mana yet. Jesus Christ. Well, that's embarrassing. Okay, well, I did hit 2 Lorien Revealeds. Yeah, that didn't make any fucking sense at all. I can hear Samael just shouting how I've been reading that card wrong for 4 rounds, and it's finally punished me. That didn't make any sense. Okay. Good to learn that in a situation where it didn't hurt too bad. I mean, it hurt a lot, but we're up a game and opponent hasn't really done anything yet. Fingers are still crossed. That hurts. Yeah, I really thought that was just like a mana rock this whole time. I guess it would be in more decks if it was a 2 mana rock. Those of you who laid into me during the deck tech, you know, here we are. Vindication. Right now they have 4 mana to do stuff. Shield Wall Sentinel. Enters the battlefield. You may search your library for a creature with Defender. Reveal it, put it in your hand. Okay. Probably going to see Axebane Guardian here. That is the good card that their deck plays. There it is. They untapped Caretaker with Ranger, but they had already used their land drop for the turn, so now they just have this Defender untapped and 1 less land in play. Perfect. Okay, Island is in play. I got a lot of work to do to catch up here. Yeah, that Brainstorm would have been the nuts if I didn't sack my permanent to put it into play. They have 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Yeah, they have plenty to beat a Mirror Shell Crab next turn. I could just bounce the Axebane Guardian for the Time Walk here, or I could repeal something smaller. I think I have to bounce the Guardian. That's the thing that I'm treading water against the hardest. Oh, they have some spell. Tameo Safekeeping? Yeah, okay, cool. Good job, you did it. 3 cards left in their hand from here. I will cycle Lorien Revealed. Just no Tron lands at all. Not even possible. I have to assume this game's unwinnable from this point. But I'm going to see what their turn is. If they, like, tap out for something too big. And they have 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They have 13 mana. It's going to be tough to get a Mirror Shell Crab through here. I basically have to hope they can't do anything with all this mana. That's what's really going on right now. Overgrown Battlement. Okay. 3 cards left. There's red in the pool. Terrifying. Uh-oh. Creatures have haste. This is going to be really hard to beat. They're just passing through the turn, though. Like, this is why I didn't concede, because it's possible they just don't have anything. Impulse. I'm going to take Urza's Tower, because we got to start somewhere. A tower, and I guess I just pass. Like, they clearly didn't have anything last turn. I probably have to repeal something this turn just to see more cards. Mirror Shell Crab is just stone dead at this point. They have a Battlement and an Axebane Guardian. And the Guardian has haste, so bouncing it isn't even that good. A Ranger's getting in. That's the one creature in their deck that doesn't have Defender. And they're just really not doing anything. Somehow. I'm going to repeal Axebane Guardian. Yeah, their hand's probably protection spells. They didn't win and didn't add a creature to the board. So, yeah, safekeeping makes perfect sense to be a card that they have. We're experiencing something fun, though, which is when you are just heckin' dead, you could just start slamming your cards, tap out, don't even worry about it. You don't even have to think, because if they had it, you lose. Just going to start assembling and attacking and hopefully whittle through their creatures. It will not take much for them to break this open, though. They tap the Guardian, bad sign. Red's in the pool, extra bad sign. Okay, Valakut Invoker. I'm not dead yet. They need an untap effect to do that. Invoker deals 3 to any target. They can just kill my Self-Assembler every turn and attack me for 3. They didn't make red, though, with that X-Bane tap. Oh, they don't have to. It's a colorless ability. That's right. Okay, they found an action spell. I'm good. I'm good. I still don't think Hydroblast is right. I think I need to fight them earlier than that. It's possible that Out Cold sucks. Like tapping X-Bane Guardian Overgrown Battlement for 2 turns is good, but Quarian Ranger accelerates that process. I think I'm going to shave an Out Cold for a Candy Trail. Just get a little more selection back in there. Because they really didn't do anything for a very long time, that game. If I was doing anything, it would have been sick. This hand, I have no faith in. It doesn't have Tron. I'm just casting 7 drops. Gonna mulligan this. This one I love. And now I know what Dire Mimic does. I'm gonna keep my hand. And put... Well, now that I know that Mimic's not a mana rock. Jesus Christ. Alright, Urza's Tower's in play. I hope to do some powerful condescending this game. Orochi Leafcaller. Okay, that doesn't make mana in a way that I care about. It doesn't get them above Condescend. And we have my favorite play in the deck, which is Condescend your spell, and if you don't cast a spell, Impulse. Island, pass. Opponent also pretty low on their clock there. If they assemble the combo, I will concede. Like, I don't... My life is worth more than watching Wall's combo click through, but their combo might just take more than 8 minutes to even get through. Sacred Door, that's a win condition. Can't condescend it here. Quarian Ranger represents extra mana down the stretch. I am going to counter this one. Island and Exit. I'm not really interested in the Island. I am interested in the Exit. It messes with their strat and has card selection attached. Urza's mine and pass the turn. Cerulean Caretaker. That's fine. Cerulean Caretaker, also fine. Looks like I'm going to get to Impulse this turn. Leafcaller. Collecting its pound of flesh. Impulse. Urza's Tower. Not it, but it is a land. I'm really interested in this Condescend. They have 4 mana, and all their important cards cost 3. I'm going to take the Condescend on spec, and just hope I draw a land. Sick. Not only a land, it's Tron. Magic's easy. Now they have 5 mana, they hit their land drop. They still can't pay for a Condescend, though. I'm just going to over-Condescend, because I don't want to get blown out by some trick I didn't think of, but I think we're pretty safe here. Only had to do this for 3, and I'm not doing anything else with my mana. Just being extra condescending. Another Condescend and an Urza's Mine. A Condescend is nuts. I don't need mine at this point. Yeah, if I can whittle their hand down to no more payoffs and then start dropping Whale Snakes, that's a good system for me. I'm just going to F6 at the start of my turn, and maybe it looks like I clicked through it by accident. I'm not going to brainstorm and hope to find a blue source here. They're not that reliable. It should be very obvious I have a counterspell in my hand, though. Or at least some interaction. Maybe. Or no, I'm not supposed to let X-Bane Guardian resolve. We saw multiple Tamiyo safekeepings in their deck. Are they just going to venture into the dungeon? That's so funny. What do you do, scry 1? What does the dungeon even do? Yeah, cave entrance, scry 1. The next one, they get a treasure or a goblin, then a +1 counter, a drain, or a -4, and then when they finish, they get to draw a card. Okay, they scry to the bottom, and I'm going to unauthorize exit the secret door. And I guess Caretaker is a better card that also represents mana. Yeah, I'm actually going to bounce Caretaker. I think that's just better than this stupid door. Island on top. Yes, please. That unlocks my Whale Snake. And pass the turn. Caretaker resolves, that's fine. And they did hit their land drop, so they could go in the door again. Oh no, there's still one short. Ooh, Reaping the Graves, cool. They should target X-Bane Guardian with both of these, but they didn't. Okay. You can have Quarian Ranger back, and I will condescend the one targeting X-Bane Guardian. Okay, Desert and Expedition map. I don't need either of these, bottom. Quarian Ranger has resolved. Untapping Cerulean Caretaker. They currently don't have any mana open. I couldn't remember if they had a land drop or not. I probably should have checked the game log. I'm going to Brainstorm in the end step rather than Whale Snake. Okay, these are all good cards. Tower, Crab back. I draw Crab. I think I'm just going to send it on the Lorien Reveal this turn. Their 3-card hand would have to have Axebane Guardian, Haste Creature, and Wincon. Or Wincon's already in play. It would have to have Axebane Guardian, Haste Creature, and Untap Effect for me to lose right now. A bunch of blue in the pool. Drift of Phantasms. This can get a Guardian. It doesn't currently have haste, and I have multiple ways to bounce or freeze it. Okay, they untap this Ruly Caretaker. That's representing Tamiyo's Safekeeping, which I can counter. Draw for turn. Expedition Map, tutoring up an island is actually really good here. Map. Use the map. Island. Yeah, Quirion Ranger actually untaps the Axebane Guardian this turn, because stun counter reads if it would become untapped, remove the counter. They could bounce a land, untap, remove the counter, then it goes to the turn. Yeah, this card actually isn't good in the matchup. I messed up. Okay, Capsizing Wave, target Axebane Guardian. Oh, cool. They didn't even have the Tamiyo Safekeeping. That's the nuts. Now exclude, just wrecks their day. Exclude that. And I got a repeal out of the deal. And if they have a follow-up anything, Mirror Shell Crab's going to get it. Crab that. And then I slam Whale Snake and hope that I win. Oh, is Whale Snake even right? I could just Lorien Revealed. Yeah, I am going to play this. Got to win the game somehow. I'm holding Repeal. I can bounce an Axebane Guardian if they have another one. I don't have a plan for a Lead the Stampede here. Okay, they're just going into the dungeon. That's fine. This is a sign of an opponent who has nothing going on. Making a treasure. Is also insanely slow, and their clock's at 2.5 minutes. I don't think I need that. I think I'm just winning fair and square, but it's also true. Lorien Revealed will make my Whale Snake unblockable. I could map for another island here. I think that's correct. Okay, can't be blocked. Lorien Revealed makes it unblockable next turn. Repeal makes it unblockable a turn after that. This can be a 1/4 or 2/6. What is the size of this card? Okay, Lead the Stampede is going to resolve, regrettably. I'm out of counterspells here. Oh, Jesus. They hit Rubble Fort and Axebane Guardian. All right, Battlement resolves. Well, that was the Stone Nuts. Now I need to... And I can stun 2 creatures and investigate here. I might as well do that. Battlement and Caretaker. Stun them. Give them that Stone Cold Stunner. This at least cantrips, even though it's not like particularly good. Okay, Lorien Revealed makes Whale Snake unblockable and fills my hand with hopeful interaction, not interaction, dangerous. In with the Whale Snake. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could Brainstorm here. I've already made my land drop though, so that doesn't help that much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Play the Boulder Branch Golem. Let's add to the clock here. I can bounce one thing this turn, which actually isn't enough if they play correctly. Okay, they do know how their tricks work. Oh, they don't have an untap infinite though. So I'm not dead yet. They do have a lot of mana, but it's not... Oh, come on. Oh, freed from the real targeting this. This actually gives me a chance for a blowout. I can repeal this. Okay, and hope that they don't have Tamiyo Safekeeping. Yikes. Okay. You know, I said I wasn't going to make them click through a combo, but that was 9 minutes ago. Let's see if they could do this in 2 minutes. The combo here is freed from the real untaps. This is infinite mana, but then they have to filter through infinite dungeons with their infinite mana, which will eventually kill me 1 drain life at a time. I've played wall combo before on the channel, and this is the reason that I don't think it's viable in Magic Online. It's just impossible to click through in the time that you need to do. I wasn't going to sit here for 9 minutes, but happy to sit here for 90 seconds. And we technically get a win. On to the final round.
The official BoshNRoll Island Ponder Keep shirt is available exclusively through Coalesce Apparel. This Magic player-owned business is a staple of our community. They keep this channel on the air, and it's my pleasure to partner with them for this product. Coalesce is the best Magic apparel on the market. They have awesome new designs coming out all the time. Use code BoshNRoll to get 10% off your order, only at coalesceapparel.shop.
On the draw for the final round, I have a path to Tron and some interaction. Are we going to see a basic mountain? We are not. Colony Garden, okay. I keep hearing that mono red is like a top deck in Pauper or like Azorius Affinity, all that glitters, just all these blazing aggro decks. And I've played, I think, 3 Pauper leagues in the past month. Haven't played against mono red yet. I could BTFO this plant token with repeal for free. That's not worth doing, by the way. It's not happening, but I'm just saying. The line exists. Lembus. ETB scry 1, the draw card, sack a gate through life. When it goes into the graveyard from the battlefield, owner shuffles it into their library. Hungry for bread. And I'm going to tutor a power plant because I like the art better than mine. We're just flipping coins on that. It doesn't really matter. Power plant, expedition map. I will have Tron next turn, and I have interaction up in the interim. They got a lot of tech lands over there. A lot of non-basic lands. Cycling Troll of Khazad-dûm. I am prepared to bounce this if they exhume it. Got a swamp. Finally a basic land. Ichor Wellspring. They got some stuff going on over there. I don't know what it is yet, but it's some stuff. A tutor for the mine. Oh, there's this dinosaur. Islandosaurus. I'm going to play Self-Assembler. That leaves up the most interaction while adding to the board. Chainer's Edict. I can bounce my Serpent, but I'm also not worried about it. There will be more where that came from. Or bounce my Assembler with Serpent is the word I was trying to say. I should have repealed a plant token in response to Ichor Wellspring. I'm just really worried about being blown out by like a Village Rites. Let's find out. It's still worth doing. Okay, we got away with it. And I am going to cycle this Brine Fang. Hate to put it in the graveyard because we have the same name. But it does need to go. And I will continue to assemble myself, leaving up interaction. Basically, all of this is a distraction for what I'm really doing, which is Whale Snake. I have this Boulder Branch Golem now. Deadly Dispute. No surprise. That card was obviously in the deck when we saw an Ichor Wellspring. I'm never going to have more cards than this opponent, but I might have bigger, better stuff than them. I am going to crab this. Got to start bringing the beats somewhere. And I'm going to repeal in the end step again. Oh wow, Snuff Out, look at you. Lots of removal in this deck. With this treasure up, they are representing 2 mana spells, not just ones, but alright, we got away with it. Hitting land drops, adding to the board. The third Assembler. And I'm going to keep holding up interaction rather than just double slamming here. Tithing Blade, this makes me sacrifice a creature. I think at this point, I actually do want to bounce my Self-Assembler. Now we're in the place where I can't just keep tutoring for these, but I can keep adding them to the board. Oh, they're tapping out for some initiative, Donkey. Condescend it. Have I mentioned at any point in this league how much I love the card Condescend? Lauren revealed an unauthorized exit. I'm kind of interested in both of these. Okay, I will keep them both. That's the thing I'm allowed to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lauren revealed. Hit a Tron land. That is what I wanted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're 1 land away from flashing back Chainer's Edict. Is there any way I could tap my mana that does what I want? Not really. And I could brainstorm first, see what happens. I'm going to have to tap out for a turn. The Candy Trail can clear the brainstorm. Okay, I don't need Island. And, oh, even better, Self-Assembler clears the brainstorm. Island, brainstorm. Found a way to get card advantage here. Assembler, tutor the Assembler I just put back, and then I also get to play Candy Trail. If they can get the initiative this turn, it's a little risky, but that was a really high-value turn. Desert, not interested. Lauren revealed, pretty interested. Okay, this game has been really exciting so far. This is going to be a good match, however it goes. I suspect it will take a very long time, and we'll make a lot of decisions. Deadly Dispute, sacking Ichor Wellspring. Luckily, my graveyard's so juicy that they can never cast Exhume if that's a card they play. Woodland Chasm, Defile. Yeah, -1 for swamps. Yeah, you got 5. And Reckoner's Bargain, the other, Deadly Dispute. Like I said, we're never going to have more cards than this opponent. We just have to play better. Or play bigger. They might actually deck me. That's really interesting. That is possible. Return 2 creatures from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. Okay. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 mana right now. That's enough for Boulder Branch and Self-Assembler and hold up some blue spells. I like that. Boulder Branch Golem, Self-Assembler. I'm trying to save my Whale Snake for the end because this deck's full of removal. And I suspect that at some point, that's going to be the best creature I can present. Ooh, Crypt Rats. This is fun. I have more life than them and bigger creatures. Okay, they're just ratting for 5. Oh, you need black mana. They sacked their treasure for white, but this does matter. I'm going to bounce my Golem here. Bounce my Golem. Do I want another Tron land? Sure. At this point, I'm more worried about milling myself out more than even just having Tron lands or not, and not surveilling a card when you don't have to is a way to avoid that. But I am going to cast Lorien Revealed. I still have 30 cards in my deck. It's plenty. I would like to keep the hits coming here. Found Condescend. That's one of the better cards I play. Haunted Fengraph's going to be great. Okay, pass. Opponent's at 13 from that Crypt Rats activation. Defile. All right, well, I'm defiled. 1 mana spells are tough to condescend this late in the game, even with Tron. Troll of Khazad-dûm. Do I care about this compared to condescending an initiative creature? I guess I kind of have to. Okay, I can condescend this, and I can pop Candy Trail this turn. Don't need a map. I will take a Golem. Pop the Trail. Urza's Tower. So many things. I'm going to continue revealing Lorien. Every turn that I have a counterspell in my hand, I feel better than when I don't. Another Condescend. Hook it to my veins. Island. Big Dum Dum. 2 counterspells up. They're both soft, or at least, yeah, they're hefty payments, but they can be paid for. Cast down. All right, you got me. I'm excited for this Haunting Fengraph. I just hope it doesn't get back a Self-Assembler. Anything else is good. All right, they're crafting Tithing Blade. They're going to try to get me for 36, 1 point at a time. I am going to Brainstorm and then impulse away the Brainstorm cards. This is just more Tron. Let's find some action. Mirror Shell Crab, I'll take that. Impulse to the bottom. Okay, how much can I actually do here? They have an Edict in their graveyard and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana to cast it with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Casting a Crab. Playing a Haunted Fengraph. And pass the turn. I lose a life. You got me. I am 3 minutes behind on clock, which is a real issue here, and I'm 11 cards behind on deck. Chainer's Edict. I'm going to crab this because Condescend is a harder counter at this point. Now I can start bashing and holding up interaction, like Condescend for like 15 or whatever. Golgari Rot Farm, probably going to bounce Witch's Cottage. It did indeed. And I'm going to Fengraph in the end step. Give me one of these cards back. Make it a good one. Self-Assembler, the worst one. Perfect. Okay, another Whale Snake. We're pushing real damage now for the first time. I'm going to play the Whale Snake from Exile. And if I play Self-Assembler, I could still Condescend for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is more than they have. Okay. I have Lethal on board and a hard counter in my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess they have 9 mana. If they have a 1-drop, they can get through my Condescend. Colony Garden, sure. The Whale Snake in hand beats that one. Deadly Dispute, sure. What is this card? Additional cost, sack artifact or creature, draw 2 cards, make a map. Okay, sure. They sack their blocker to draw 2 more cards. Just more of this card. I'm glad Wizards of the Coast has put one of these in every set. We did it. Yep, just had to be bigger than them eventually. Relic of Progenitus seems relevant here. Wretched Griff, I like. Exclude, I like. Dire Mimic is not for this matchup. Yeah, I think I just want Wretched Griff in, and I'm not going to cut like another threat for it. Though Dire Mimic, the thing it's good at is dodging Edicts, which is some of the removal of my opponent's deck, but we also saw Snuff Out, Cast Down, Defile, so I'm not going to trust this thing. I think I'm going to shave some repeals. I'm just bringing in other cantrips that answer the board, and I'm more worried about having stuff on my board than I am about removing theirs. This hand does have 2 mana technically and an Expedition map. I'll keep it. Hope I don't get the rest. Colony Garden. Gotta watch my clock and my deck. Power Plant. Map. Dropping the map here might be risky. If they just destroy it, that sucks. Oh, they did it. Yeah. Exile target artifact or enchantment. Good job. Found the line. I said the thing and then didn't play around it. And now I went from 3 mana to 2, and I'm going to have to rip pretty good because my hand is chunky. Nile Spellbomb. Okay. Did I do anything for my graveyard? I had Haunted Fengraf. A cycle, another Lorien Revealed. At least I found a mana source. I'm not going to complain. I can Condescend this turn. I can exclude starting next turn. Fingers crossed that this holds. I'm going to Condescend this. It is both a card draw now and it turns on their engine later, and I just need to look at more cards right now with the Scries. Golem to the bottom. I will take even a redundant Tron land at this point. Getting in for 2. Redundant Tron land. Now I have a wall of interaction up, and when I get to 5 mana, I can start dropping big O's. Do I care about this? I don't think so. And I don't like it, but I'm not going to spend a non-cantripping, non-card selective counterspell on it. I actually think this oof might do 20. There's a real chance that that happens here. Okay, Tower. And I'm going to self-assemble. I know their deck's full of removal, but they can't cast their initiative monster this turn, which is the card I'm worried about tapping out into. And if I could stick this 4/4, I'll take it. Okay, they're spellbombing to draw a card. Emergency spellbomb. I like it. They can't defile here. I guess if they attack and I block, then defile does kill my creature. Tithing Blade, you got me. Boulder Branch Golem. I am tapping out into the initiative creature here. I'm a little worried about it, but I'm also worried about just doing nothing and letting them attack me for 2. If they didn't have a creature, I don't think I'd be playing anything, but I'm under actual pressure. Deadly Dispute. That's a good one. Snuff Out. Paying the life. And they have a 5 mana play. Shit. Yeah, this is exactly what I was most worried about. And it was avoidable. Except not really. I think if I just cycle Lorien Reveal on turn 1 instead of playing Expedition Map, this whole game is different. I'm not sure how I win anymore, honestly. I'm just going to click through their turn and try to gain some time back. We are within 90 seconds of each other at this point. They got a 4/4. And I'm dead to the trap next turn. Maybe it's better to block the 4/4. Because if they have a reanimate spell, I lose right now. Yeah, that works too. All right, cool. All right, yeah, I tapped out on the turn I wasn't supposed to. I said it the turn before and then just did it anyway on the next turn. I also kind of had it in my head that maybe they were light on the initiative creature because we played a very long game 1 and only saw 1 of them. And here in game 2, they just jammed 2 of them like on curve. So kind of against expectation. But I also called it out the turn before and still played into it. So, you know, what do you want from me? Okay, repeal. Wretched Griff, I do like. Maybe Unauthorized Exit needs to go. But that's like the same thing as repeal, except it doesn't cantrip. But it's the same role in the deck. Cantripping might be really important, though. Okay. I'm trying it like this. All the marbles. Keep. I'm going first this time so that Oof can't get me. I am slamming the Expedition Map. They just had a tap land and pass it back. That's good for me. Okay. I'm at least going to get 4 mana this game. Maybe even 5. Cycle to Troll. I wish I had some more selection here to make a better map decision with, but I'm just going to pick Tower. Or it's better to take Power Plant, because then if I draw a map, Tower taps for 3. All right, I'm going to take Power Plant. Power Plant has the best art anyway. This relic seems exciting. I hope it's useful. It's at least a cantrip later, and I exiled a Troll of Khazad-dûm. Never sad about doing that. Though exiling that troll does take away my ability to cycle Brine Fang into extra, or blow out an Entomb, or Exhume. Alright, well, I spiked Tron. Life is good. Start assembling. And let's go. I have the Whale Snake to protect my assembler if they have a spot removal spell. Duress. Swing and a miss, homie. Dex all creatures from here. Tithing Blade. I'm gonna Whale Snake. Exile their graveyard. We're just playing the long game here. That was a good one. Yeah, they just duressed me. Didn't see a counterspell. Now I have a counterspell. This is the game I want to play. And Duress couldn't take this counterspell, but still, it's cool that I have it. Not going to fight over Ichor Wellspring when I'm this far ahead. They have 4 swamps right now. I'm going to counter the Blade. I could counter the Blade or counter the trigger. I also just overpaid for this because I'm talking and trying to get the game won before I run out of time. Exile your Blade. And from here, I actually start bashing. Big moves. Okay, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could play the Whale Snake. Marauding Brine Fang has Ward. Okay, Fang hasn't been in play yet. I'm going to give this one a shot. A chance to thrive. Ward 3 when my opponent has 4 mana is pretty powerful. They have Edicts in their deck, but I have this Self-Assembler I can sacrifice. Deadly Dispute. And they could snuff out pay 4 life and 3 mana sacking a treasure to kill the Brine Fang here. I am ahead, but it's tenuous. They could still grind back in here. Second Deadly Dispute. I'm gonna relic them. Just because that's gonna happen anyway. Might as well do it now while they have fewer options. 2 treasures. Defile kills 1 of my creatures. Snuff out. Yeah, what's up? Alright. Spent 4 life, the same 4 life that they would have taken if I just attacked with that. Condescend in the grip now. Dead in 2 hits to my giant ward creature. And I'm going to assemble myself one final time. I hope this league is just about over. Looks like a good position. Target them with Relic. And I feel good about my spot. Ichor Wellspring is not going to save you. Ooh, the oof. I have exactly enough to counter this. Gotta pay 3, only got 2. Not trying to get my assembler exiled. Did we do it? Did we tempo through? They could still Edict me with the mana they have. They bottom the island. Top the tower. That lets me just jam out my whole hand. If I'm not just... Didn't win already. Bajuka Bog, whatever. Oh, Edict doesn't even win the game because I have a 6/7. And they're at 6. They would have to gain life with a blocker somehow. And they packed it up. A 4-1 result, technically speaking. This deck was really good and a lot of fun. Condescend continues to be a messed up Magic card. I love all of the giant creatures that are also spells with channel and adventure and stuff. Just a lot of options here for a big mana deck to make decisions. The Self-Assembler is just nutty, of course. Like, this is the reason this deck exists. Just bring on the 4/4s as soon as I have Tron, usually holding up Counterspell as well. I think Dire Mimic is probably bad. I thought it was fun and defensible and probably even good when I thought it was a mana rock, but now understanding that it's a treasure, you're just putting this card into play just in case your opponent has Edicts in their deck. But I just boarded it out versus an Edict deck, and it was still, like, my creatures and counterspells just did enough. I wonder if this should be, like, 2 more impulses to keep the cards coming. Could be in, like, 1 Brine Fang, 1 impulse to make sure you have steady access to blue and you don't get screwed there. Could be more Whale Snakes. This card was nice. Yeah, I think after Condescend, Whale Snake was my favorite card in this deck. Yeah, I think the Dire Mimic is suspicious, but everything else about this deck I was really happy about. I like the play patterns. It's a control deck when it needs to be a control deck, and it's just a big slammy Tron deck when your draw comes together that way. And both of those are powerful things to do in the Pauper format. Samael, thank you for sharing this with us. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.